Hello and welcome back. Another day, another video, another small journey in our continued exploration and trying to achieve mastery in algebra. And today we are going to work with the quadratic equation. And once again, you will see it's a recurring theme. The term sounds complicated. Quadratic, this is a very old Latin word which basically means a square. So, an equation which has a square in it, and we've already looked at these kind of equations without calling them quadratic equations. But today we officially want to call by their technical name and then proceed ahead with analyzing them. A lot of the work that we are doing today, a lot of the basic work has already been done. So the conversation should ideally go faster than usual, right? So for example, we already know how to work out an expression like this, let's say x minus 5 into x minus 7, and I know when I expand it I will get a x square, I will get a plus 35, and I will get a minus 12x. So there should already be some speed happening in these kind of operations, hopefully in your own minds as well. So this is nothing but a quadratic equation, and we already know how did this come about. It came about from here. There could be a language layer story also involved. So for example, there is a price of an apple. From the price of the apple, if you subtract 5 and multiply it to another number, which is price of the apple minus 7, you get something, right? So from the story, you will create this expression, and this expression will become this, which is known as the quadratic equation. Basic idea being there should be a square on the variable. If there is a cube, we'll call it a cubic equation, and we'll deal with it as we reach that part of the story. So we already know what a quadratic equation is. We also know what the root is. We have looked at this idea. Think of this equal to y, or you also want to keep calling it a function of x. So the root means at what value of x this expression is going to be 0. For what value of x this expression is going to be 0. If I have the factorized form, this is very easy for me. I see if I put x is equal to 5 in this story, this will become 0. 0 into anything will give you a 0 only. So x is equal to 5 is a root of this expression or this particular quadratic equation, especially when you equate it to 0. Similarly, if I put x is equal to 7, this part of the story will become a 0. Overall the product will be a 0, and therefore x is equal to 7 is the other root in the story. So for a quadratic equation, we have two roots. If somehow I can factorize it, I will be able to spot the roots very quickly without any trouble. Now, most of this work we have already seen, but now what we want to do is look at more detail at this expression and tear it apart and put it back together and learn all possible interpretations and angles of learning about this equation. So great, nothing unfamiliar, and this is the standard form of the quadratic equation. What do we mean by a standard form? So you can create a lot of stories by changing the constants in the previous example. For example, we had x minus 5 and x minus 7. What if I make it x minus 10 into x minus 20? Or if I do x plus 5 into x minus 7. So I can play with those variables. I can create a lot of different equations, but all of them finally look like this. There is an x square, it has some coefficient. If there is no coefficient, you will say a is equal to 1. There is x in the story, it has some coefficient, and then there is some constant in the story, and everything has been neatly put on one side, and this has been made equal to 0. If you just want to say what is a quadratic equation, you will say y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, the 0 being a special situation. I want to find where this expression is 0, because that's what gives me the root, or the root is the important point, right? So you should be able to play with this idea, and this is again just for beginner level comfort. Even if I put a coefficient in front of 2, right, and I say 5x minus 7, and I multiply this, I will get a 10x square, I will get a 3 into minus 7, I'll get a minus 21. I will get a minus 14x and a plus 15x. So I will get a plus x in the story. So now I'm just taking a simple example or a single example to illustrate that this is A. The B in the story is 1 into x, right? So B is 1 and C is equal to minus 21. So again hit pause now, change a few numbers, create a few different looking equations, and you will see this is the general form. All of them look like this. There is a coefficient of x square. Coefficient means a constant which is attached to a particular variable, right? There is a coefficient of x and there is a constant. So make sure that you understand that this, where is this coming from? This is simply coming from observing that all of them look like this only. So going further in algebra and thinking in symbols only, this is going to be the general form. But before exploring that further, let's spend a few more minutes thinking of the root of the story. Now if I create a story like this, x minus 3 into x minus 5, and I know this will become something like that, I can hit pause, calculate the expression also. X square 3 into 5 will be a plus 15 and a minus 8x, right? But I already know that the same form, but I already know this is the same story. So if I am thinking of roots, let me equate this to 0. And right now, once again, it is very easy to spot that if I put x is equal to 3, remember, because this is equal to fx, we have already played with putting various values of 1 and figuring out what is the value of fx, and now we are thinking where will it become 0. So if I put x is equal to 3, this becomes a 0. If I put x is equal to 5, this becomes a 0. So these are the roots for the story. But just to get comfortable, let me change the story. If it is x plus 3 into x minus 5, and again I want to find it, when is it equal to 0? So this is the easiest form. Let's say there is an easy quadratic equation or somebody has already factorized it. Can I think of the root? Yes, I can. Minor complication here. If you want to make this 0, x is equal to 5 is fine, not a problem. Put 5 here, 5 minus 5 will become 0. Put 5 here, 5 plus 3 will become 8, but 8 into 0 will give you a 0 only. But you have to be a little careful here. If there is a plus sign in the middle, you have to think and you will figure out in no time that x has to be minus 3. Right? So when you put x is equal to minus 3, this will become minus 3 plus 3 will become 0 and the overall expression will become 0, and therefore minus 3 and 5 are the root. So again, generalize. If I want to look at a structure, is there a structure? Yes. If I say x minus a into x minus b equal to 0, the root is going to be a or b. So this is my standard structure, but there is a plus here. In my standard structure, there is a minus here. So let me rewrite this as x minus, because I want this to look like this, minus of minus 3. Then I can just compare. What is the a in the story? A is minus 3. A is minus 3. So the root is minus 3. So memorizing it is okay. Clarity is better. If you have clarity and you do it 3, 4, 5, 10 examples, and that memory part will also come, that quickness. That if I have this form, A and B are the roots, obviously. But if I have a plus in the story, how do I adjust that part of the story? Right, so keep the general form again handy, look at it over and over again till you are very, very comfortable. Let me further change the story. Both of them are positive. X plus 3 into x plus 5 is equal to 0. So again, just compare this to these two and you will see I can rewrite this. And again, because this is a beginner session, let's say, or introductory session, I'm working out the small steps. But as we progress in the journey, I will remove these writing down steps and do a lot of things just verbally, right? So get used to that. So if I rewrite this as x of minus 3 and rewrite this as x minus of minus 5. Now this story looks like this story. Why? There is an x, there is an x, there is a minus, there is a minus. There is an a, yes, there is an a. But what is the a this time? A is minus 3. So one of the roots is minus 3. And the other root is going to be minus 5. I do not recommend this memorizing the method or the structure as such. I think of even more commonsensical input-output relationship. I want to make this 0. I can make any one of them 0. When will x plus 3 become 0? When will x plus 3 become 0? When x is equal to minus 3. That's it. right? So you think and you realize, yeah, okay, it's not because somebody has told me, it is not written in the Shastras. I am looking at it, thinking of making it 0, and then this is my basic equation. So way better than just memorizing stuff. But after a while, automatically you will be able to see things quickly. So again, what are we doing? We're just fooling around with the system over and over again till we understand all possible points of view. What if I write something like this? 2x minus 5 into x minus 3 equal to 0. I'm keeping part of the story simple, so at least everyone can find the first root quickly. X is equal to 3. Put it here, calculate, this is equal to 0. That is the only way of figuring out math, right? By doing it yourself. This is providing a direction and an introduction, but each of these steps one has to figure out by themselves as well. So when you put x is equal to 3, this becomes, the whole thing becomes 0. You want to make this 0, keep it simple. 2x minus 5 should be equal to 0. So x is equal to 5 by 2. So one of the roots is 3 and the other roots is 5 by 2. So this 2x minus 5 can be written as x minus 5 by 2. But if you calculate this x minus 5 by 2, you will have 2 in the denominator. You will get a 2x and a 5, which is fine. You wanted a 2x minus 5. But this expression will, because I want to look for easy solutions, x minus a, right? I want to go back to my standard form of x minus a into x minus b. So I'm saying, can I simplify it in a way where it just looks like that x minus a, which is excessive work. But then if you write it like this, you will get a 2 in the denominator. So you will have to bring a 2 out of the story. So 2 into x will give you a 2x and 2 into a minus 5 by 2 will give you a minus 5. The 2 will get cancelled, right? Or just understanding this manually and slowly is also okay. And maybe as a bonus, get comfortable with this rewriting of 2x minus 5 like so as well, because we'll be doing this a lot too.